Hi, I'm doing well. I figured I'd hop on because I'm working on something that doesn't require too much focus, so I can chat while I do it. Also, because I think that it's something that people might find a little bit interesting. If they don't feel like making homemade pickles is something a lot of people do. So right now, I'm just trimming the tops and roots off of all of my radishes. Sounds great. As always, I would be happy to see your drawings if you want to share. I'm going to introduce this as though I'm going to edit it down into a segment. I don't know if I'm actually going to edit it into a little short video of its own, but I'd rather have it prepared if I feel like doing that than not have it. So how do I want to do that? Today I'm making refrigerator pickled radishes. Refrigerator pickles are different than standard pickles because they don't actually ferment. They're just preserved in vinegar, which is then placed into a refrigerator. I really like refrigerator pickled radishes because it's a great way to get radishes to keep longer. I love radishes, but if I just try to eat straight radishes, I never get through a whole bundle of them for it to get soft and a little bit unpleasant. Refrigerator pickled radishes, or I suppose probably regularly pickled radishes, though I haven't had those myself, are also a great way to balance out the overly hot or spicy flavor that some radishes have. I discovered this particular recipe after my partner and I harvested all of the radishes out of our community garden and realized that they were all much too hot to eat on their own. Additionally, we had a whole bunch of them. So even if they hadn't been too hot, we wouldn't have gotten through all of them before they started to go bad. Luckily, this recipe is super easy. All it takes is vinegar or vinegar essence, which is what I will be using today because vinegar essence is extra concentrated, along with spices of your choosing, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of sugar, and then, of course, your radishes. For my spices, today I'm using parsley and chives that I grew on my balcony. Now, the vast majority of the radishes that I'm using today are these almost perfectly round, beautiful looking store-bought radishes, rather than my own homegrown radishes. I do have one singular homegrown radish that had gotten left behind in the garden. It's definitely not nearly as pretty as store-bought ones, but I'm proud of it regardless. I really like radishes. They can vary greatly in flavor from being almost flavorless, like mainly just like crunchy water, like cucumbers, but a bit drier, to being very, well, spicy, very hot, having a flavor that's pungent in the same way that onions can be pungent. Um, and then the flavor, if you pickle them, the flavor is going to vary heavily depending on what you put into your pickling mixture. I quite like vinegar and vinegar flavors, so I am pretty much just going to use the herbs and vinegar, but some people add a bunch of other stuff to flavor their pickles as well. Ice cubes. I used to eat ice cubes, though that's not something I've done in a long while now. I'm just preparing the radishes by cutting them into relatively thin slices. You want them all to be roughly the same size because then they will all soak through at roughly the same rate, but they don't have to be too small. You can even pickle whole radishes if you don't mind waiting longer for them to pickle. Part of the reason I'm cutting them into slices instead of just pickling them whole is because I actually really like to have these as a snack, and I find that the little slices are the perfect size for just fishing them out of the vinegar mixture and eating like that. Yeah, it's not really great for anyone to be eating ice because it does wear down on your teeth, but I used to do it. I know a lot of people who have done it or still do it. Like, it's an understandable desire. It's one of those things you have to balance out the potential damage with enjoyment from it. I do find that a nice, like, very cool cucumber can be a good replacement for ice cubes because it has sort of a similar crunchy sensation along with being nearly flavorless. Of course, you can get cucumbers with stronger flavors, but most of the store-bought ones are very, very plain. Oh no, I'm sorry that you chipped your AirPods. The background music I was listening to has cut out for no apparent reason. I guess I should fix that. Hey there, Fox with Wings. We have a Discord now for everyone who I meet through doing these lives. I can drop the link to it in chat uh, shortly. I would like to finish cutting the radishes first. It is also posted in a community post that you can get to through the community tab on my YouTube channel. With how often we are all talking about creative pursuits, arts and crafts and things, it made sense to have a Discord to show off pictures of all of the cool things that you guys make. I relate. I don't have a problem with cooking, but I am not great with doing dishes or cleaning up after cooking. The sensation of like squishy food is not something I can handle very well. It's okay if it's like my own dishes and I do them immediately, but doing other people's dishes is more difficult. I am making pickled radishes. There's two different ways to do pickles of any type of vegetable. You can either do sort of standard pickles, which are fermented and take quite a while to make, or you can do so-called cool or refrigerated pickles, which are what I'm making, where you just place your vegetable into a mixture of vinegar and water, sometimes with additional spices, as well as a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar. And you let it sit in the refrigerator for a couple of days, and then they're ready to enjoy. It's a great way to preserve vegetables for slightly longer than they would last otherwise. Refrigerator pickles don't last quite as long as fermented pickles, but they're a lot easier if you're a beginner, if you're new to pickling or preserving things. They also take much less time, so if you're looking for a quicker snack, then they're great for that. Ooh, pickle is a great name. I need to plug in my laptop. Actually, it's plugged in. I just need to turn on the switch. Let's see. Off. I am sorry that you're having trouble focusing in class, then. That's understandable, though. I will be going back to my own classes this upcoming week, and I'm not looking forward to all of the overwhelming aspects of being in classrooms. Sprinkle is also a cute name. All right, let's see. How do I want to show this off? Now that we've got all of our radish slices in our jar, along with our spices, salt, and sugar, I'm going to make the vinegar mixture. I am using concentrated vinegar, which is 25% acidity. So I'm going to use 1 part vinegar concentrate with 5 parts plain water. Generally, you want to make sure that you've got vinegar that is at least 5% acidity to make sure that it actually preserves the vegetables that you're pickling. I might end up having to use more of the vinegar concentrate for this size of a jar, but we'll see. 2, 3, 5. That is almost, but not quite enough to reach the top of the jar, so I'm just going to fill it up a little bit further. There we go. Yes. Reminder to drink water. I'm going to seal up my pickling jar. If I can get the lining to cooperate. It's always hardest to do things like this when you know people are watching. This style of jar seals with these little hooks. So now that I've got the lining in place, I just slide the hooks over the edge to hold it in place. And that is all the prep that's needed for this. I will put it into the refrigerator and let that sit for at least 2 days before I eat them. But then I will have perfect pickled radishes. As the radishes sit in the vinegar brine, they will turn the pickling liquid bright pink, and then the radish slices themselves will also turn completely pink. Then if you can't get up to get water, well, then generally you should make sure you have water with you so that you have some at all times. And I'm sorry, Buck, that you are having trouble sitting still and focusing on crocheting. I am going to set this into the fridge. I can already see that the vinegar is beginning to turn pink from the radishes. I will grab a jar of liquid from my last batch of pickles to show you just how pink the liquid turns over time. This is the pickling liquid from my last jar of refrigerator pickled radishes. You can see that it turns a very bright, almost cherry red or pink color as the vinegar leaches the color out of the outside of the radishes. I held on to this, although there's no radishes left in it, no pickles left in it. I held on to this because it's very flavorful and I like to use it on other dishes that I've cooked to add a little bit of herbal flavor and a little bit of vinegar flavor. And also, I think it just looks really nice in the yellow jar, honestly. The color contrast is very pleasing. So there's a super simple way to preserve just about any vegetable. I've only personally done it with radishes so far, but just about any vegetable, and to make a relatively quick snack if you like pickles or vinegar, or if you're just curious to try it. I'm going to clean up and then we can transition into a different topic because that was honestly faster than I thought it would be. The last time I did this, it took quite a bit longer because I was using only radishes that I picked from my own garden, which meant they were all funny shapes and had like different things wrong with some of them. So I had to cut out chunks that couldn't be used. And also I had to wash all of them like a million times to get all the dirt off. So using store-bought radishes was significantly faster. I'm trying to get into using more homegrown produce because I have a community garden. This is the first year that I've had a community garden. Um, so I am having a lot of fun learning to cook new things that I've never made before, and also just with the experience of growing my own food products. All right, brief intermission. I will be back in a couple minutes once I get this all squared away. You've got a horse riding lesson on Saturday? What are you doing? Is my sound bad?
Yes. Where's the... You do it over OBS?
I'm not doing it over OBS. This is just my standard webcam. I need you to scoot so I can clean up the mess with my tech.
Hello, Chad. Excellent. Hey, Bucket. I've turned the fox a little bit down, so he maybe has to speak a little bit louder, but it shouldn't be as bad with the distortion anymore. No, I'm talking to chat. No,
Apparently, I had tech problems that needed fixed. Did she not? Did she not say hi? I heard that she was talking to chat, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. I was looking for glue because I actually do have a different project that I could work on, but I don't know where the glue for it is right at this current moment, and I didn't want to be away too long to look. Night, Zen. I wish you all the best. Best of luck. I have a message on the Discord. Yes. I'm going to look around and see if I can find the glue for the project I was going to work on. Cool.
How's it called? How does it look?
It looks like the scoop of olive table is in a container still, which is something about glue for sheet and leather. Yeah. Okay. Yes, the tail. I've been struck by the crafter's curse, aka where on earth is the supply that I just saw. But luckily I have more than one project to work on. I will update the name of the stream because it's now going to be a DIY/mending stream, at least for the time being. Alright, I'm working on patching a pair of pants. I have had people question me as to whether these pants are worth mending or not because I bought them at the mall for 30 euros and could simply buy another pair of pants. But I really like these pants, and it annoyed me that they only lasted through 6 months of wear. So even though this is the second time I have repaired them, I am going to do it again. To figure out the best way to set these up on the table so that I have access to where I actually need to sew. I wouldn't consider the radishes a craft. That's cooking, though I guess cooking can fall into a type of handcraft because it is something that you do by hand and need certain skills for. I do look forward to going back to working on the mask at some point, but I need to get the material to actually coat the mask with, and I am interested in, if at all possible, thrifting all of the fabric for it, which means that'll take a little while to gather up all the pieces for. Particularly, I'm interested in coating the mask with terry cloth, so towel fabric, because I think that could be a really neat replacement for like fake fur. That's cute. Rose steals my clothing sometimes, though it's not because it's too small for me generally. Usually it's just because she would like to have whatever it is.
You steal my clothing as well.
I do also steal her clothes. We live together, so it's more like borrowing anyway. Oh, thank you. I think she's looking for the glue for the other craft project I was going to work on. That one, I think will get more people into the room because it's a specifically furry related craft. I just got a big knot in the middle of my thread. I have a pair of paw boots that I modified out of a pair of high-heeled boots that I got from a thrift store years ago. But they're kind of falling apart and the paint needs a little bit redone and whatnot, so I was just going to do some repair work on that. I don't know. I have a whole bunch of stuff set aside that I need to mend or repair in different ways that I've been putting off because the hand sewing patches and stuff can take quite a while, and I just had other things to focus on. But it's something that I can very easily do while streaming, so this has encouraged me to actually work on all my little hand projects. I am thinking that I need to like set aside a list of topics of things that I want to talk about on stream so that I can direct sort of themed conversations so that even if people aren't super talkative in chat, I have my own things that I feel like talking about and can maybe make segments out of. The boots are pretty cool. Essentially, they came about because Rose and I were going to an anime convention, and I knew I wanted to wear Fox gear. Initially, I had wanted to wear a fursuit, but my fursuit hadn't come in the mail in time, so I was putting together gear. I've been given headphones with a microphone, so maybe my sound quality will be better. But now I got distracted in my story about the paw boots. But also, that means I can't listen to my own music. Okay. Anyway, paw boots. I was putting together a outfit out of gear that I already owned. So I already had the bright orange fox ears and the matching tail, the ones that I'm wearing now. But I didn't have any sort of paws. So I was looking into different things that I could wear as paws to sort of complete the outfit. And I didn't have time to order anything. And I didn't own anything that really fit the look. Like I didn't have orange sneakers or anything. But I did have this pair of high-heeled platform boots that I've owned for years, and that the leather, the faux leather coating was starting to peel off of. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I just paint them? I always thought that platform heels look a little bit like digigrade animal feet anyway. So I thought it would be a perfect fit. So over the course of about 3 days, I painted the toes of these boots to be a bright orange fox color and drew on toe divisions as well as adding drawn on toe beans to the bottom of the boots. And they turned out really, really cute and definitely completed the outfit for the con. Of course, since they were made out of thrifted boots that were already starting to fall apart, they have some wear and tear that I'm going to work on fixing. When I wore them to the con, the rubber sole at the front of one of the platforms came completely unstuck. And I lost one of the heel caps. I don't have a replacement heel cap, so I'm not currently going to do anything about that. But I did buy flexible shoe repair glue, so I'm going to glue the sole back onto the platform and just see how it holds. It's not a perfect fix, but it also doesn't need to be a perfect fix. The only time I'm going to be wearing these would be for conventions or maybe fur meets, like things like that. They're not going to be a daily wear sort of item. I've seen other people do similar things with Converse and other little like canvas sneakers, where they'll either take orange ones and just sketch on sort of toe divisions, or I've even seen some people embroider the paw shape onto them, which I think is very impressive. I've done a little bit of embroidery, but not a ton. Yes, Converse is always the classic because then you've already got the different color toe section, so it's perfect for doing the paw design. Or off-brand Converse. I mean, they don't have to be name brand. Any shoe that's got sort of that shape to it. I've actually seen shoes that you can buy that have the paw bean design like printed on the bottom of the leather, not leather, the bottom of the rubber sole. I think those are cool. I probably myself wouldn't go out of my way to buy them because I prefer to just DIY my own stuff. But I do think it's a very neat idea. I keep tangling up my thread. For why I'm having such a hard time with that today. Aha, untangled. I have beat the knot.
Don't fix it then.
I can switch to my Bluetooth headphones. You had gotten the cracks minimized with those. I don't know, at some point I'm going to need to buy a separate microphone. What am I going to have for dinner? I don't know yet. Rose was actually asking an hour or so ago now what we are going to have, and I did not know, and I still do not know. I have a can of lentils in the kitchen that I've been meaning to make that I think could be really good actually with some of the pickling liquid from my last round of batches. I know she probably wouldn't be super crazy about that. She'd probably prefer chicken nuggets or something of that nature. Did you check that the audio is being pulled through the microphone on the headset and not through the uh, built-in microphone on the laptop itself? It's unfortunate. I am going to have to buy a higher quality microphone at some point. In fact, I already have one picked out that was recommended to me by Lux, but is expensive, and I don't make any money off doing this. So I'm sort of putting off doing, buying things. I wasn't, when you came in, I wasn't using the microphone through the Bluetooth headphones. I was just listening to separate stuff. Whereas I was yesterday, the last time I streamed, I was using the microphone on the Bluetooth headset. So if that sounded better. Right now I'm fighting with yet another knot in my thread. Hello. I was just thinking about my own struggles with biting my nails. I actually, for a long time, I always kept them painted because it made me less likely to bite them. That doesn't seem to help me so much anymore. But now when it's really bad, I will put on fake nails because I can't bite through plastic. Okay, if using the Bluetooth headphone mic sounded better, I'll switch back to that. Let me just need a break from this particular piece of thread anyway, because it's driving me insane that it keeps knotting up. What do you put on your nails to keep you from biting them? I've known people who've used a number of different things, but not necessarily successfully. So it makes me curious. I know someone who tried lemon juice, but that just burns if you've got any injuries on your hands at all. And it's probably not super great for your skin in the long term either. Yeah, it sounds like it would help. All right. Going through the process of switching headphones. All right, that sound quality may or may not actually be better. Again, as I was just talking about, I do actually have a new microphone picked out. I just need to get to the point where I can justify the amount that it would cost. But if I want to get into making video essays, I mean, I will also need a better microphone for that purpose. Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to her. Definitely big shout out to her then. I hope she's doing well. A little bit about my current project. I've obviously I'm patching up a pair of jeans that I've already patched up before. I specifically, however, am patching them with leftover plastic mesh that I will then attach standard fabric over the top of because one, I think it will look cool. Two, I'm hoping that the plastic mesh will be stronger than the fabric itself, and therefore overall it'll be less likely to tear again because the plastic mesh will rub on plastic mesh instead of the fabric rubbing on fabric. I do think there's a decent chance that this will be the last time that I repair these pants. So if this doesn't work, then I might be giving up on them, which is unfortunate because I love these pants. They're just standard baggy cargo pants that I bought at the mall, but they fit real nice. I'm not really keen on having to get rid of them. Also, I just never like having to get rid of stuff that I spent money on. It's like, no, I got you. You can't break. Checking what's going on in our Discord because I'm getting notifications. Oh, nice. What are you drawing today? I am thinking that I am going to have to reorder the Discord a little bit to have the welcome messages show up in, I don't know, not general chat, that would be disruptive. Introductions, maybe, instead of them being rules chat so that I don't push the rules too far back. But that is not really that big of a deal. That's something that I can deal with later. A little dragon. Nice. Do you have strong feelings about dragons versus wyverns? Like, do you think dragons have to have a certain number of legs? I know some people get very invested in that topic. Not super invested in dragons versus wyverns. I just think anything dragon-like is cool. I actually used to have a book, like as a child, a book devoted to learning to draw various fantasy-themed stuff. And one of the chapters was about dragons. So a lot of my very first drawings were dragons out of that tutorial book. Hi there. We're just chilling and chatting about whatever comes up while I work on mending a pair of pants. I was going to work on fixing a pair of boots that I made, but I am suffering from the crafter's curse, in which I misplaced the most key utensil for doing that, in which case, in that case, it being the glue that I need. I am open and up for chatting about anything, really. At this current moment, we're chatting about dragons. And I was telling about how a lot of the very first things I ever drew were dragons because I had a fantasy drawing tutorial book that my parents bought for me as a child. Thank you. I have a number of different craft projects that I plan on streaming for. Many of them are more interesting than I am simply fixing pants. But hey, I don't think that mending gets enough attention because being able to fix items that you like is actually a very important skill. Not that I am doing the best job of mending these pants. There are actually recommended ways to fix things beyond just putting a patch on them. But alas, I am not very good at those, nor do I really know how to do them. So I'm just patching stuff. Hello there, Therian. Thank you. I have been trying to do some research to figure out who the maker of these ears was. I bought them, well, I traded for them at a anime convention. And I've gone through the list of all of the makers that were present at that convention, and I still have not been able to figure out who actually made this pair, which is unfortunate. I just messed up that stitch pretty badly. Oof. That's what I get for talking while I'm sewing. Yes, I remember you. You've been here. Terry, I remember you. You've hung out with me in chat while I was working on my puppy mask. Which, an update on the puppy mask. I have the paper mache for it done. I figured out a solution for making a strap for the back of the head, and I've sketched out the fur design onto the mask. Right now, I am waiting until I get the fabric that I need for actually covering it before I do anything else. And Dakota, I'm really happy to have new people in. I'm honestly surprised that I have new people showing up for this because I didn't really expect people to show up if I didn't have something specifically like furry related in the title, because that gets a lot more interest than just sort of general craft projects. But it's nice to have you here. Yes, then is here a lot, and it's also in our Discord, which Rose, if you could drop the link to the Discord in the chat for everyone who is not in it who would like to join, you can do that. I am thinking that for future streams, when I have time to like think about it and prepare stuff, I want to set up like potential discussion topics so that I have like a little schedule for things to talk about if nothing is coming up in chat, because sometimes chat is quieter than others, right? Just to start conversations. Thank you for dropping the Discord link. We have been quite fortunate in all the recent streams because Rose has been home and available to do tech support and moderation. That will not always be the case. But I appreciate that it's the case currently. Did I tie the knot that needed to be tied there? Yes, I did. Good. Losing track of what I'm doing because I'm talking to all of you while also trying to sew black thread through several layers of black fabric. Yes. Hey, in exchange for all her hard work, I'll fix her pants next if she wants me to, because I know she's got several pairs of pants that have holes that need sewn up. So even once they're stitched up, she's not allowed to wear them to work, which is bad. Honestly, I think we, as a society, need to get to be more accepting of like visibly mended clothing, because I mean, there's nothing wrong with being able to see that stuff has been sewn up or fixed. If anything, it shows that someone has cared enough about that article of clothing to put in the time and effort to make it continue lasting. Additionally, if we are trying to lessen the impacts of and popularity of fast fashion, I mean, a big part of that is being able and willing to repair clothing. And you can't always repair clothing in such a way that you cannot tell that it's been fixed. Like, stuff isn't always going to look like new. And that's okay. The absolute standard of clothing shouldn't be something that looks completely off the rack, like it's never been worn before. Same. Especially when you can tell that someone's done it like by hand and put their own effort and care into the things that they are wearing that have been repaired. Because each one of those repairs is a little bit of a story. It's evidence that whoever has made that repair cared enough about that item to repair it. And it shows, a little bit about the materials they had on hand at the time. It tells you about where they were in their life when they were making that fix. Like, it says something different if someone patches something with matching fabric than it does if you can tell that the fabric is from a completely different type of clothing, whether it be for a stylistic choice or because that's what someone happened to have on hand. I am sorry that you injured yourself. But hey, the rip in the pants is tells the story of when that happened to you and whatever you were doing at the time that it happened. That might not be a story that you want to remember, but hey, it's part of the history of those pants now. I think. Oh, nice. See, the history that we woven into one's clothing. Focusing because I need to tie a knot. I have been hand sewing since I will tell the story I started in a second, but I got distracted reading chat. Rose, you just we need to buy you women's jeans. Like that is the solution to your particular sizing problems. Anyway, I've been hand sewing probably since before I could read. My mom taught me. I must have been 5. I was always a very curious child, interested in learning new crafts and things. And my mom was always happy to indulge that because she had worked as a preschool teacher and just loved the whole early childhood education thing. Um, Still does love interacting with and working with children when she has the opportunity to. So anyway, when I was quite small, my mom decided it was time to teach me how to sew by hand, and the way she did this was by teaching me how to sew a little drawstring bag. I should actually ask her about that because I don't remember what method she used for inserting the drawstring into the bag or anything. But I know that she had it mostly set up, mostly tacked together before showing me the actual process of how one makes stitches in fabric, which was what she was trying to teach me at that time. And once I got the hang of that over time, this obviously wasn't all at once. Once I got the hang of that, then we made another drawstring bag where I did more of it myself, and so on and so forth until I had feel for stitching something together like that, which I'm really grateful for that because it's an important skill to learn, and it's something that is a lot easier to learn when you are small. Um, Sewing requires like very, I mean, it's all about fine motor control in your hand sewing. It's about being able to do the really small, precise movements, and that's something that's going to feel really awkward when you're first learning it, um, because it's something small and fiddly that you've never done before. It's a new movement to you. And I think that's why people who are trying, sorry, I'm stitching through very thick fabric right here and it keeps getting stuck. I think that's why people who try to learn to hand sew at an older age, like as a teenager or an adult, have a lot more trouble with it. Like children are always learning new motor skills, always learning new things that feel a little bit awkward and fiddly. It's been nice to have you, Dakota. I will see you around again, hopefully. Um, so I believe children are more willing to do things that they're bad at. Um, from there, from sewing the little drawstring bags, I moved on to patching things. Sewing patches on stuff is another like, fairly easy sewing project. Good for people who don't have a ton of skill in the area yet, but already know like the basic movement of how to make stitches. And it's a very rewarding one because you can see the result. You go from having whatever your item is with a hole in it to having an item that doesn't have a hole in it. Um, Obviously, that might not sound like that big of a deal, um, especially not if you like grew up in a household where everything could be easily and quickly replaced. But if you didn't, there's a big difference between I don't have a pair of pants with out holes and oh hey, now I do. Um, or if you ever had a favorite article of clothing or a favorite piece of bedding or something, being able to save that because you can sew a patch is a powerful experience. For whatever reason, my earliest memories of patching things were specifically bedding, pillowcases, bed sheets, things like that, which again aren't really necessarily the most common things to patch. Generally, if people are patching things, I feel like they're patching clothing. But I do think it was a good place to start because they're relatively easy to patch because the material is thin and there aren't any major seams that you really have to worry about. And additionally, it's something that not a lot of people are going to be seeing. It just exists within your household. So if you're a new sewer, you also then don't have to worry about like, does this patch look good? Will I be okay with people seeing that? Because it's a pillowcase or it's a bed sheet. Like people don't have to see it unless you want them to. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Booked. What art program are you using? If I didn't cut that too short, I might have. Take a sigh. Now I should still be able to tie the ends of that. Of course, then you can also talk about patching as a form of personal and artistic expression. That's something I didn't come into until my late teens, I think. I was 17, 18, 19, somewhere there when I started my first patch jacket, which maybe I'll have to work on my patch jacket on stream at some point. I feel like people would be really intrigued by that. Sorry to hear that. I have heard good things about Procreate. I haven't personally used it. Generally, I stick to traditional art because, much in the same vein of what I was just saying about sewing, making digital art is it relies on a lot of fine motor skills that you only learn by doing it. But the process of learning it is very uncomfortable if you haven't done it. I think if I had started learning digital art at a younger age, I would have been able to just power through how awkward drawing with a mouse or drawing on a tablet feels. But because I've made it this far in my life without learning how to do that, I don't necessarily think I'm ever going to learn how to do it. And if I do, it is going to be because I decide to sit down and power through how awkward it feels. Okay. Yeah, I guess iPads and some tablets you can draw in that sort of like same traditional movement type of way. Um, I've never had my own tablet, so all of my attempts at digital drawing have been with a mouse, which is people can do it. People can do it really well. I am not one of them. Can't see if I actually tied a knot in this, so I'm going to tie another knot. I'd rather have it be more secure than less secure. Hey, don't talk that down. Personas and dragons are things that people look to see drawings of. And, I mean, there are plenty of artists who specialize either in like medieval or fantasy art or in furry art and make a great name for themselves off of it. Granted, if you're focusing only on furry art, then you're likely to be fairly niche, but like niche success isn't any less valuable than like mainstream success. If you're doing what you like and other people are appreciating what you're doing, that can be just as fulfilling, whether it's in a niche community or in a mainstream community. Yeah. Yeah, school can be a very unkind place. my high school had a lot of so-called gay furry kids. Not necessarily all furries, but like we definitely had a big contingent of sketchbook kids. Not all of them got bullied, but who definitely were like placed in their own social sphere. Um, I feel like my school was a little bit lucky in the fact that we had a art and media program. So a lot of the students who were interested in drawing, but also in photography or animation, filmmaking, all got funneled into the same program. So all of the sketchbook kids, all the artsy kids were together and perhaps had an easier time finding sort of a sense of solidarity with one another because of that. Of course, there were, even so, there were students who got the worst of it compared to others who got bullied more, or even bullied within the art program, which is not great, obviously. But it was, I think, a slightly more cohesive environment than it is if all of the art kids are left to sort of fend for themselves. I don't know, even then I very much carved out my own space and then just didn't venture much outside of it. I was the kid who always ate lunch with my friends in our favorite teacher's classrooms, of being out in like the overall like public seating areas. I'm going to sound old and out of touch, but bunk is terminology I'm not familiar with. Does that mean to cut class or skip school? That's what I'm guessing from context, but it's not terminology that I've ever heard used. Skipping class. Okay. I figured I just hadn't heard it used before. But I've also been out of high school for almost 10 years now, so I wouldn't be surprised the terminology has changed. Ugh. Is your geography teacher just like boring or strict, or are they have deeper problems? I know I had a couple of teachers that were a bit sexist, whatever. Like I had to go a couple of rounds with administration actually reporting people's behavior at various points in time. Would not recommend. Messing up my stitches. Recommend that either. I did not have geography as a subject. It was taught in conjunction with our political science or history classes. So it didn't exist as like its own separate thing, which maybe it should have been. I don't think my geography skills are that bad, but they're not great either. They're not African American, put that one. Ah, yeah. I did double science my last year of high school, but that was my own like choice. I opted to do it because if I did double science, then I didn't have to do math, and I preferred science over math. Um, but you don't necessarily sound like you like science that much, so that sucks. Also, I believe I remember you being a British bean, which would make sense with the uh, college reference, just because the terminology differs between the US and Britain, which could also explain the why I had to ask about the terminology funk. Could be a regional difference rather than generational. Yes, okay. That reminds me of when I was trying to explain the American educational system versus the British educational system to Rose, who is German. Um, just because they are similar in ways and different in others, it can get confusing, especially when you're trying to explain it to someone who has yet another different educational system. Maybe this time I won't accidentally sew through the back side of my fabric like I just did like twice. Yeah, there is some flexibility in the exact years, but when did I get out of elementary? I believe for me, elementary ended at, yeah, 10 or 11, and then I had middle school for 3 years, and then 4 years of high school. You want Kaiserschmarm for dinner? We need butter. Do we have enough margarine?
Should be.
Yeah, sure.
We can also use oil. Not to use oil, but it's just everybody's different.
Do you want my help? I will transition to a sorry, activator word transition. I could move over to a cooking screen. I'm getting frustrated with sewing because I keep
Not in your thing.
Yeah, making mistakes in my screen. Guinea pigs.
That's also
Oh, does it make 2 servings? Do you think 1 would be enough? I mean, we can do 2 and then keep whatever is left over in the fridge. Deep, deep, deep. Deep, deep, deep. Where did you put the box with the instructions?
I already have everything. You don't need instructions.
What?
Or do you want to do it?
I just wanted to know what we had to do.
Anywhere we can put one of the things in. Bowl. We need 350 milliliter of milk.
This is for one day?
Not both.
Okay. Vinegar for
No, we don't need vinegar for Kaiserschmarm.
paste.
Did you have an egg in your coffee?
No.
Yes, it looks like eggshell.
It is eggshell. It's from.
Then how does your coffee have eggshell?
This wasn't my coffee cup from today.
Yeah.
I say it so that perfectly answers your question.
It doesn't at all, but we'll be right.
Is some whiskey all good?
Yes, we do. To mix it up. One there? Not at the moment, I think. By the way, your I think the live you have to do like with the headset somewhere on YouTube because nothing has changed neither with your headset nor with my headset.
Okay.
So maybe there's a YouTube specific one where you can see what it's taking.
The audio.
Kann ich. It's not here. No, that's mute.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We look at it next time. So, that's it. Now we look good. Do we have oil from that?
The oil's right here.
Yeah. No wonder I can't find it. Take the big pen because there's more space because that will go up.
You usually serve Kaiserschmarm with.
Super and Zimt.
Oh, I
Or
thought
Apfelmus.
we have Apfelmus.
Or Nutella. Basically whatever you want.
Do
You can
want
make it sweet, you can make it savory. Depends on what you want.
Would you like some Apfelmus?
Sure.
No,
Little fancy. You're cute. Should help you tell, yes.
You want to do it? I'm afraid of making a mess because the
Sure.
holes are really small. Yeah, I might next time have it stream through OBS.
Mm-hmm. Because there at least you can pick what audio and strength, because your voice is very often like has a knack in it, which just makes a bad audio quality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you also have a bad video quality because YouTube is not giving you much render,
Yeah.
much bandwidth. Maybe
You do that so well.
no mess. I also have done that for 8 years.
That's true.
So I should know how it goes. You, I would say you put the ego in Rock'n Rolls. You put that in a separate one because the
Yeah.
more people are coming, the less likely it is to stay there.
Yeah, I'm gonna move it into introductions, I believe.
Well, also introductions people will post. I think you should just have a channel where you put that, and then you can add other roles when other roles are coming in.
Okay, we're just welcomes and goodbyes.
Just roles.
Well, that's not roles. That's just welcomes that you were pointing at.
No, it's about the role that you give them. So, you're welcome rules. That's a role that they get.
This is yes, but these are all.
Yeah, make that separately. The roles that clicking here, make that in a separate one. And if you do like seed-based roles, you can also put it then in there.
Maybe.
Because that will vanish the more people are coming.
I was gonna move these. Because those will push the rules up. And then the rules.
Should rules maybe make rules one? Well, depends on. But you can make rules and roles one.
Yeah,
and let the welcome be welcome.
Generally, rules and roles go together.
Yes.
In most of the communities that I'm in, so I was going to just do that and move welcomes elsewhere. A lot of places do welcomes and introductions together, but I guess I might just make welcomes their own thing.
I would let the introductions be separate, because probably basically everyone that comes in is some kind of LGBTQ plus and has so a little bit more to say than just this event.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. If you want to post a welcome, you're welcome to.
Of course.
Or an introduction, you're welcome to. So how long does this fry? Just till it's done?
Yeah, we will have to see because we're doing both boxes. It could take double the time, but also our stoves, like depending on how much heat it gets with the pan. So I will just be here and watch it.
I was seeing what you pinned.
I pinned the Discord, so I always have it quickly on hand for when I need to post it.
Nice.
I have done stuff like that before. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, there don't seem to be very much people here. But you get another subscriber.
Yes.
I guess the quota. This will take over.
Mm-hmm.
You can go somewhere else if you want to, or just digging.
I might go back to sewing because I do want to
Yes.
try to finish that I was working on.
Deal.
You steal?
I steal. Now people have to watch me.
I'm here right now.
Hmm?
I'm here right now.
I know. I'm here. I'm the third one person. I think.
Wait, can you lean my screen down? Thank you.
There you go. My video just somehow got stuck in my on my live stream from you. We still made the Kaiserschmarm.
Hmm.
So we have some apples, what you say?
Yeah, it's in the fridge.
It's in the fridge. You want some?
Yes.
Do you want some of the milk car? You make it have it out.
Maybe both, yeah.
Guinea pig feeding.
Okay, have a good rest of your day, or have a good time till I see you again. Unsure when exactly the next time I will stream is. It depends on how busy I am with school starting and if I have anything I feel is worth doing on stream.
Next 10 more minutes, den Kaiserschmarm chocolate.
Nice.
It's just a lot for the little pan that's not set long. Hello.
Food time?
Hmm?
Food time?
Soon. 1 to 2 minutes. Hello.
I'm going to keep sewing until it's food time, and then I'll get off stream.
Okay.